Hello Chief, Kaiza here and welcome back to Path to Nowhere Sinner Guide. In this video, I will talk about the newest member of Aurum Secretum tag team, Irrheia. Irrheia is an S-rank Catalyst tendency sinner who deals magic damage. When entering battle, she will summon Book of Rewind to the nearest grid accessible to allies. Book of Rewind counts as Aurum Secretum tag summoned creature and inherits 100% of Irrheia HP, attack, defense, and magic resistance. It can block one enemy and perform normal attack. The normal attack damage coefficient is the same as Irrheia normal attack damage coefficient. There can only be one Book of Rewind on the field. Once you unlock her Mania Intensify, which you can do by promoting her to phase 2, when entering battle, she will summon Book of Rewind Anomaly instead. Book of Rewind Anomaly has the same characteristic as Book of Rewind. The difference is, when summoned, Book of Rewind Anomaly automatically enters the resonance state and gains summoned creature ultimate, Auric Perception. Before I go to the summoned creature ultimate, let me explain resonance state for the newbie. Resonance state is a special state that only Aurum Secretum tag summoned creature can enter through a specific method. Currently, there are two other sinners who can summon Aurum Secretum tag summoned creature, Hypatia and Hilda. Both Hypatia and Hilda has this thing called as resonance skill. These are the available resonance skill in the game now. Hypatia with her passive 2 and exclusive Crimebrand, and Hilda with her passive 1 and exclusive Crimebrand. How do I know that this is a resonance skill? Well, they told you in the description. I have read all of it so you don't have to. So, you're welcome. Now, normally this buff will only affect their respective summoned creature, but once a summoned creature enters the resonance state, they will be able to enjoy the buff from the other summoner whose summoned creature also in resonance state. Do you get it? Good. Other than that, summoned creature in resonance state also gains the following effect. When a summoned creature in resonance state casts its summoner ultimate, other summoned creature in the resonance state will also cast their respective summoner ultimate, but only deal 20% of the original damage and cannot trigger this effect again. To clarify with the cannot trigger this effect again, it means each summoned creature can trigger this effect once, so it's not once as in the entirety. For indicator, you will see this purple circle resembling a clock under the summoned creature in resonance state. Now, let's talk about the method to enter the resonance state, and that's where Irrheia Books of Rewind Anomaly New Gain Ultimate comes in. Auric Perception puts one other Aurum Secretum tag summoned creature into the resonance state. Up to 2 Aurum Secretum tag summoned creature can enter the resonance state through this method, basically enough for both Hypatia and Hilda. This ultimate has a 90-second initial cooldown and 40-second cooldown for each use after. Now, don't get tricked by her Suspect Pursuit since you can activate this ultimate immediately. Her Suspect Pursuit has a special condition that allows this. In reality, you really need to wait for 90 seconds for your first summoned creature ultimate, making her not suitable for short fight like Broken Frontline. Just a reminder, you can check the cooldown of the ultimate by looking at the green bar under its HP. Once it's full, you will see the star symbol next to it. Now to the last effect of her Mania Intensify. For this battle, Aurum Secretum tag summoned creature gain HP plus 50% but cannot gain shield value. It helps to increase the survivability of the summoned creature, but at the same time, yep, no shield stacking for this team. If you play her in Mania training, since each checkpoint is counted as different battle, so you won't be able to apply shield stack also. Irrheia normal attack is called Twisted Tail. It's a single target attack dealing damage equal to 54 to 108% of area attack to an enemy within skill range. Nothing much to talk about other than it has a unique skill range. I think this is the first one in the game. Ying has the similar one but longer, so technically Irrheia 1 is inferior. Not that really matter, but remember, this scaled to Book of Rewind normal attack, so raising this skill will also increase the damage of Book of Rewind. Irrheia ultimate is called Script of Dread, and its cost is very expensive, 38 energy. Irrheia applies normal attack damage taken plus 5 to 10% to all enemies within skill range for 15 seconds, and deals damage equal to 480 to 960% of Irrheia attack. This damage count as normal attack damage. If Book of Rewind is present and able to cast skill, it will cast this ultimate instead. I'm gonna be honest, 38 energy for a 10% normal attack damage Amber and a single grid AoE attack is kinda underwhelming. So let's see if she has something else on her kit. Irrheia passive 1 is called Vortex of Sins. When casting ultimate, Irrheia purify all buff from enemies within skill range and applies magic resistance -40 to -80 for 15 seconds. If the buffs are successfully purified, it applies additional magic resistance -20 to -40 for 15 seconds. Currently, only Irrheia who has the ability to purify enemies buff, making her somewhat unique. You can find out if a buff can be purified by reading the enemy skill description. Irrheia passive 2 is called Doomsday Ecstasy. If Auric Perception is casted on a summoned creature already in resonance state, the summoned creature gains a Resonance Awakening mark. When the summoned creature receives a Resonance Awakening mark, the summoner resonance skill effect will be increased by 5 to 10% for 10 seconds. There can only be one Resonance Awakening mark on the field. Okay, here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't bother to test this because Irrheia takes a really long time to set up. In order to have the first Resonance Awakening mark, it's going to take about 130 seconds. And it takes too long considering the trial and error. So what I said after this is a mere speculation. I'm guessing this effect possibly a multiplicative effect. So for example, instead of Hilda Resonance become ultimate damage plus 30% at level 10 in 90 stacks, it's actually plus 22%. My reasoning? Well, because the wording used is the same as other multiplicative effect on other sinners like Parfait Ultimate and Yugu's exclusive. And besides, if it's additive, it sounds very overpowered. Again, this is just a speculation. If there is anyone says otherwise and can provide their calculation, then you should trust them. I just can't be bothered. Indicator wise, you will see the hands of a clock under the summoned creature with Resonance Awakening mark. Irrheia exclusive Crimebrand is called Fragment. It's a passive exclusive which grants summoned creature in resonance state damage taken -10, 15 or 20%. The summoned creature ultimate Auric Perception initial cooldown will also be reduced by 3, 6 or 10 seconds, and after use cooldown by 1, 3 or 5 seconds. Personally, I feel this Crimebrand is quite weak. The damage taken reduction probably not that significant unless for some reason you use last stand Potestas or there is boss skill that spam AoE like in TOA. But I think Empower Potestas is fitting more for Aurum Secretum tag team, and having a strong healer should still be able to keep the summoned creature alive. The summoned creature ultimate cooldown reduction also doesn't feel very impactful, at least as casual player. In Night of Ashes with exclusive Crimebrand level 1, I think you will get to use Auric Perception 3 times, but the third one is very close near to the end. I believe raising this to level 3 won't let you to use the 4th time. It just makes you comfier in the last core brick state window. And the last point, if you have spare S-class Soul Mark, you should use it on Hilda, since she's the key member of Aurum Secretum tag team in my opinion. With that, I recommend keeping this exclusive at level 0 or at level 1 if you want to collect all the exclusive Crimebrand. Irrheia is a support, so we can ignore her damage ability. Then how does she perform as an Emperor? In a more general situation, she is not versatile. 38 energy cost for a normal damage taken plus 10% and magic penetration is not worth it. If you look for more general magic Emperor, you have a better one like Melee and Raven, who not only have less cost but also bring utilities like core damage into the table. Her passive 2 and exclusive Crimebrand is basically non-existent if you run her with generic magic team, making her a very incomplete damage Emperor. If I have to put her role in a team with 2 words, then it will be activating resonance. In a short fight like Broken Frontline, she will not be able to fulfill this role, as she needs 90 seconds to activate her first resonance, while Broken Frontline require you to finish within 50 seconds to get all the rewards. So in a short fight, is also a nah. That left out one possibility, Long Fight plus Aurum Sacratum team. If Hilda and Hypatia is the power that has been locked within a Pandora box, then you can say Irrheia is the key to open it. So how does she change the fight with Aurum Sacratum team? Well, first, Irrheia has her own Aurum Sacratum tag, meaning Hilda gained more intelligence stack per Intel collection trigger. Collecting 9 intelligence stack instead of 8. You can see here that during my Hilda's test, I only reached 280 stack of intelligence at the end of the fight. With Irrheia, I get 360 stacks. That's the difference of 80 stacks, basically translating to an extra damage and magic damage plus 80% for Hilda and damage and magic damage plus 40% for both Hypatia and Irrheia in comparison between the run. Next is Irrheia main role to unlock Resonance State. If you see the list of buff granted by the Resonance skill, these are all buff with high coefficient. Once all summoned creatures enter Resonance State, they will deal more damage against bosses, deals more ultimate damage, and gains attack boost. And their ultimate gonna be much faster too. These all are different types of Amper, meaning they are all multiplicative from each other. Ignore what I said about the underwhelming 38 energy cost normal damage taken plus 10% and magic penetration. If at the same time you are the key to unlock all the resonance skill buff for everyone, then I consider it redeemed. And I'm not exaggerating. On the Hilda's video, I tested Aurum Sacratum, right? And I only get like 17 million. Despite of maybe I'm not try hard enough at the time, at the end of the day, it's a Shackle 0 team. So I tested Aurum Sacratum again with the same attitude, but this time with Irrheia. And guess what? I got double the result, if not more. And just to clarify, it's still the same Shackle 0 Hilda and Shackle 0 Hypatia with borrowed LL. It's basically the same team, just a bit of changes for survivability. I had to replace Eve with Hamel because I need a healer that can heal both Sinner and summoned creature, while replacing Shin with Irrheia. Zero is still there just because I'm too lazy to work around the core break. The point is, I didn't expect that the increase will be that much. Seeing that big intelligence stack and big number at the end of the fight is just so satisfying, making me consider maybe I should build Aurum Sacratum for fun. Maybe on the next Hilda's banner? Okay, so how do you play Irrheia? First, the same as other Aurum Sacratum member, protect the Book of Rewind. Don't let it die, otherwise you are done for. Second, resonate with Hilda first, then Hypatia. Hilda is the key member of the team. If you have the opportunity to cast Auric Perception the third time, personally I will pick Hypatia, because her Amper coefficient seems bigger and doesn't have restriction to only affecting ultimate. Third, save Irrheia ultimate for core break state, unless you are sure that you will get another ultimate by the time the core break state comes. But let's be real, it's 38 energy cost, so unlikely. You can also use it to provide some of enemies buff that might be troublesome to deal with, while also at the same time gain the additional magic penetration. Okay, let's build Irrheia. The first skill priority is her ultimate. Although the normal damage taken Amber plus 10% doesn't look really impressive, in my opinion, her Shackle one might make it worthwhile. The ultimate also comes with damage. If you consider the damage Amber received from Hypatia and Hilda's resonance skill, the damage from this ultimate also become worthwhile. Second is passive 1. Magic penetration to the boss is basically a party buff assuming you are running a full magic team. Third is passive 2. As I mentioned, this is potentially a multiplicative effect, so the increase doesn't seem much compared to the passive one. Last is her normal attack. I still recommend to level this up since it increases not only Irrheia damage but also the Book of Rewind. Irrheia is a support, so let's equip her with support Crimebrand set. Fourth is Nomad. Good on her since the activation is relying on your usage of Chief Potestas instead of her ultimate, which has really high energy cost. Second is Nightmare Revelation and Immolation Ignition. Aurum Sacratum tag are summoned when entering battle, so any after buff mostly doesn't work with them due to snapshotting. Since Nightmare Revelation is also applied when entering battle, then the buff should be applied to the summoned creature as well, and due to snapshotting, it will last permanently. Immolation is good to give extra energy to Hilda. Third is Homecoming, a direct 6% status increase for allied summoned creature. Very straightforward. Aurum Sacratum tag team has a core breaker problem. Since only Hilda can do it and her ultimate cost is high, equipping Irrheia with Paradise Regain can help this issue. I have no recommendation for beginner because I just don't think that beginner should pull for Irrheia, so yeah. Let's move on. For synergy, Irrheia is only good for Aurum Secretum tech. So the first one is Hilda, the key member of Aurum Secretum tech team. The highest damage Amber provider in the Aurum Secretum tech team. I mean seriously, look at that list of buffs she grants. Hilda should be the first target for resonance and your highest investment. Next is Hippa. I assume she's the main damage dealer, but my latest test said Hilda deal higher damage? I don't even know anymore. But regardless, she also provides extra damage Amber from her resonance skill. Last is Lysandra. She is an honorable mention. Her role is to heal and deal core damage, which Aurum Secretum tech lacking. Unfortunately, she doesn't bring her own Aurum Secretum tech summoned creature, so she can easily be replaced with the likes of Eve for the heal and the attack boost, or melee if you want more magic damage, Amber and core damage. Which brought us to the next one. Eve, a staple support for any summoner team, has stage-wide healing ability and very low maintenance. Last but not least is Reforged Summer. I'm a bit contemplating with this one since I feel if you bring Summer to the team, then you will lock in Core Breaker, destroying the team balance. But if you look at what she's offering, it synergizes very well. You see, normal attack damage Amber, summoned creature Amber. Furthermore, her normal damage taken Amber is going to synergize very well with Irrheia Shackle 1, so I can't live without mentioning it. Maybe one day or in a very specific situation. In the end, it depends on the fight and you player to create the most appropriate team based on what you need. Irrheia is fine on Shackle 0, but if you are interested with her Shackle, here are the notable one. Shackle 1, when casting ultimate, if the enemy is in the core break state, the normal damage taken effect applied to them is increased by 3 times. This one is strong. With only her own buff, this will increase the normal damage taken Amber to plus 30%. Additionally, this doesn't seem only affect normal damage taken applied by Irrheia, but also other sinner. So if you stack the buff with other sinner that can apply the same type of Amber, Summer for example, I already mentioned it, the Shackle will be much more worth it. Personally, I will get this one assuming Hilda Shackle build is done. Next is Shackle 3, Resonance Awakening Mark effect are enhanced by 10% and the duration increased by 10 seconds. I believe the enhanced effect is additive, increasing Irrheia passive 2 to plus 20%. Again, this is untested. I just think it doesn't make any sense if it's multiplicative because it will only increase Irrheia passive 2 to 11%. The extra duration is also nice as usually the last core break state of bosses lasts longer than the normal one. The remaining of her Shackle is related to her ultimate cost, such as ultimate cost minus 5 energy and energy recovery speed plus 10%. If you have Hilda exclusive Crimebrand level 2 level 3, then the Shackle doesn't seem that significant. Alright Chief, we are near the end of the video. I hope the guide helped you to understand Irrheia better. If you like the video, please don't forget to share, comment, like, and subscribe for more video like this. Thank you so much for your support. My name is Kaiza and I will see you on the next Sinner Guide video. Until then, please take care and bye bye.